Hey, what's going on, guys? Sinister here, and welcome to episode number 4 of the Black Ops 3 Armory Analysis. Last time we covered the lethal grenades, and this time we'll be covering the tactical grenades, covering what each do, their blast radiuses, their range, and their intensities, some stats like the det time, and some tips to help you out in the end, especially for the EMP. So this is a very informative episode. You're going to be a grenade god, combining this information with the past lethal grenade information after watching these videos. And again, if you did find this video helpful, please leave a like, because this and the lethal grenades did take a lot of time to put together. So with that, let's get on to the grenade. So we're starting off with the concussion grenade. What this thing does is it disorients, I spelled that wrong, and slows enemy movement. The colors on the screen get all like messed up, the screen starts to shake, and your movement is greatly slowed. It also impairs hearing with a loud ring, and you lose the HUD, which is your radar, your ammo count, and everything like that when you get hit with them. The flashbang blinds, and it says it impairs hearing. The screen gets very bright. There's a lot of ghosting going on the screen, so things kind of like stay in a spot and then move a little bit, and it's the most disorienting grenade in my opinion compared to the concussion. Like when you look at the flashbang on the screen, it's very tripping. Kind of hurts my head sometimes. Again, you lose your HUD, but the hearing is not really affected. Like it says, it impairs hearing. Your hearing is really not affected with the flashbang. On to the shock charge. This is a proximity triggered mine. It stuns enemies, which pretty much leaves them with very, very little movement. They can't move, they can't really turn around that much. They're pretty much stunned for a short amount of time. This grenade is stickable to surfaces as well, and you lose your HUD just like every other grenade. The smoke screen produces smoke, and I like to call this thing the pocket suppressor. The smoke produced from the smoke screen is very thick. It's hard to see people in it, unlike some past Call of Duty games, and it also has some additional abilities. It'll fog the enemy radar, so if the enemy steps into your smoke, their radar gets a bunch of like smoke on it and they can't see it. It also keeps you and any team member in the smoke off the enemy radar. So while you're in the smoke, you can shoot. The enemy can have a UAV up, and you won't show up on their radar. So like I said, it's like a pocket suppressor. Very, very useful. Finally, we have the EMP. This disables and destroys enemy electronics, so it'll disable their HUD. The enemy won't be able to call in kill streaks, and if they're hit, they won't be able to call their specialist in, or if they're already using their specialist, they won't be able to use it for a amount of time. The EMP also works through walls, so you can throw this at say you think something's in the house, you can throw it right outside the door. It'll probably destroy the equipment, and this is the only grenade that can damage score streaks. At the time of recording this video, it took 2 to destroy our Cerberus, which is like our ultimate test subject for these grenade damages. But now, recent patch, actually the patch yesterday, upped the Cerberus to take 3 EMPs to kill. So just a little thing to know. Another thing is that you can't destroy frag, your smoke, or any other grenades with the EMP, except like trip mines and shock charges. And you can no longer self-negate. In Black Ops 3, you could, if you got EMP'd, you can throw an EMP at yourself, and it will pretty much cancel the EMP completely. That's not a thing in this game, although self-EMP may be useful to slightly reduce other tacticals. Like if you get concussed and it's a direct impact, you could EMP yourself and then cut that time down a little bit. The EMP on yourself lasts like, I don't know, a second or two, but that could, in certain situations, it could cut down effect time. Other things to know, all grenade intensity depends on range. We'll cover that later. And the EMP is the only tactical to cause score streak damage, which we already pretty much said. So moving on to blast radius, just to give some context, we're on the back of the map Infection, and this is the blast radius, or your ranges, whatever you want to call it, for each of the grenades. The flashbang and concussion are the largest, with the EMP being second largest, and then the shock charge comes in third, and then the smoke is a little bit smaller than the shock charge. So how these grenades work is, it will have an effect at the maximum range on this little graph right here. And the closer you get to the center point of where the grenade explodes, the more intense and the longer the grenade effect will last, which will make more sense when we look at the data on the next chart. So, while we're still talking about the range, radius, blast stuff, at the max duration, for example, the concussion will only hit for 1.4 seconds. That's how long the effect will last. Flash 1.2, shock 1.4, and so on and so on. EMP is a little bit longer. When you get hit directly with the grenade, flash will last for about 5 seconds, 5.05 if you want to be exact. Flash a little bit less than that, and the EMP is a little bit more than that. Shock charge, there really isn't much of a difference, and for smoke, there really it just lasts for a certain amount of time. So what I did find though is that the smoke effect, like the visual of the smoke, will last for 11 seconds, and then the radar effect that smokes out the enemy radar or keeps you off the radar will last for a total of 13 seconds. So there's that. Then also we have det time. The concussion will, if you throw it on the ground, it'll detonate in about 1 second. This one was kind of iffy. It'll vary 0.1 second, so it might be like 0.9 second, 1.1 second, somewhere within that. So that's if you throw it at the ground. If you throw it in the air and the grenade is in the air for more than 1 second, the grenade will detonate right on impact. Otherwise, if you throw it in the air for like say 0.5 seconds, it'll be on the ground for another 0.5 seconds and then blow up. Same thing goes for the EMP, except that, it has a guaranteed 1 second timer. The flashbang is a little bit different. This will detonate after 1.2 seconds no matter what. If you throw it in the air, if you throw it on the ground, 1.2 seconds and the thing blows up. And then the shock charge, it's triggered. There really isn't a time for that. And then the smoke grade will detonate on impact. So that's that. Some things on how to negate. Obviously we have tac mash, which reduces flash grenades, concussion grenades, and shock charges to almost no effect. Hardwired makes you immune to EMP and smoke grenades, and it won't trigger shock charges. Some pretty basic stuff. You can just find that out by reading the perks. And then some basic tips, pretty much the same as lethal. You can press Y to cancel the grenade at any time. Scavenger replenishes your grenades. Gung Ho allows you to toss while sprinting, and you can pair the trip mine and shock charge for almost a guaranteed kill. So that's that. If you guys missed the lethal grenade armory analysis, link will be down below in the description. It's very, very helpful if you are a grenade user, if you don't like using tactical grenades, something like that. But anyway, next week I plan on looking at quick draw and fast hands, as in Black Ops 2. They had quick draw and dexterity, which is pretty much fast hands, but the quick draw was more effective than fast hands or dexterity, which allowed you to aim faster after sprinting. So I'm interested to see how that works in Black Ops 3. So that's what we're probably covering next week. And with that, guys, if you found the video helpful, again, leave a like, subscribe if you're new for more future Black Ops 3 content. And as always, I'm Mr. Skater, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.